Hey guys, OptiCast Pro staff and Bass Addict, Matt Kaliszewski here. It's been a while since I've been able to get at you guys, but with the tournament season in full swing, it's tough to find time to do your own household chores, let alone any kind of supplemental social media stuff or what have you. So today is actually our sixth and final tournament of our league, and it's about noon right now, so clearly I'm not part of it. It's our Tournament of Champions. It's the first year I have not been in the Tournament of Champions, so it's a tough pill to swallow, but I'll elaborate on that here in a minute. But anyways, I just wanted to take the time, because of course fishing is on my brain all day. It's been heavy on me that I'm not out there fishing for the title today. So anyways, just wanted to update you guys with some stuff that I've kind of learned over this tournament season here. I know if you guys have checked out one of my previous videos in regards to one of the new pro products, their VT2 ventilation system. I talked about it before. Click back and check that link. A little more descriptive, but I didn't add anything to my live wells. No ice, no kind of live well treatment solution, nothing this year. All I did was keep a track of the health and the liveliness of my fish, all the way from first line in the water to weigh-in, and I can honestly say my fish were flawless. I didn't have one dead fish all year. All of them went to the scales really lively. I didn't have to add anything to the water. There wasn't a moment where I opened my live well with that VT2 ventilation system and smelt like death. A lot of times you open your live well and it's just a hostile environment. Of course, it's not going to be good. If you're nursing a 5-pounder that you caught first, in the first half hour of the day, and it's a high sun, type 90-degree day. Yeah, that's always in the back of your mind, the health of that fish. Well, with this system, there was never a moment where I felt like, the environment that I was keeping them in wasn't a healthy one. So, big advocate for the VT2 ventilation system. Kept my fish in really good shape. The one catalyst I will say though, and I think it did cost me, because I wanted to eliminate all other variables in regards to the health of my fish, I wasn't using a product that I typically do use for the fish that I live well during a tournament, which is a TH Marine product. A lot of you guys are familiar with this. It's that G-Juice. One of the things I noticed, now granted, I don't necessarily need to rely on this to keep my fish healthy all the way through weigh-in, because I got the new ventilation system, but there were several days where I noticed after I weighed my fish in and was cleaning out my boat that it looked like crawfish genocide in my live wells. There were shells everywhere. I mean, there were some days where some of the bait fish that were hacked up were 2-3 inches long, which easily could have accounted for an ounce or two. Well, I'm not fishing the Tournament of Champions this year because of a couple hundredths of an ounce. So that crap matters, So next year, now that we've eliminated all the variables and just focused on the ventilation system, it works. You guys should add it to your guys' rig. My co-angler, my younger brother, he didn't even know I added that to the deck, and he didn't comment, trip over anything about it all year. It's like it's non-existent. So the low profile and the flexibility of the material, it's not a rigid plastic, it's forgiving, so it just does not get in the way. So I'm an advocate for it. My wife, who likes to also lay out on the back deck here while we're fishing up front until I catch a couple, then she grabs her rod, she did not comment either on it being a nuisance or whatever. So it serves a purpose without being a pain. Big advocate for it. Next year, we're going to be adding this to the live well too. So fish are going to be well taken care of, and hopefully this, the TH Marine G-Juice keeps those fish on a low stress level and inherently causes them not to cough out ounces of valuable weight that mean all the difference in the world when it comes to weighing in the final tally. So just a couple things there, and then this time of the season, it's kind of that late summer, early fall period. A lot of fish are transitioning from, their late summer, midsummer haunts in the depths and stuff, and I fancy myself a deep fisherman first. So I like to spend a lot of time on ledges, on deep vegetation, or deep transition lines, or hard bottom rock, you name it. But this time of year, you kind of got to transition back to what was working earlier in the year with a lot of search baits, whether it's top water or swim baits or chatter baits or swim jigs, or crankbait, shallow running, deep running, whatever. A lot of times these fish end up getting scattered or end up chasing shad as they work their way back into the shallows, as the summer progresses into early fall. So with that being said, you guys have seen me talk about poor boy baits, Erie darters. A lot of you guys have seen pictures from other anglers. Those things just catch big fish. They're a great deep body of water type presentation, whether it's on a drop shot rig or even on like a 3/16 ounce jig worm or a jig. They're a great bait. I'm a big advocate of my colors are stone, smoke purple, mango magic, and black blue. They're just go-tos. But the reason why I went on that tangent is Poor Boy Baits, I think his name's Kurt, comes out with new stuff all the time, new colors, new types of baits, and they just came out with this one. I don't even know if it's available to the public yet, but it's worth noting. It's got that darter body, that rib, that sends just that slight vibration through the water as you move it, but see how it's got a longer profile, a lot like their DS darter, but it's a little bit thicker, and it's got that ribbon tail, that grub tail finish. I think they call this their swimming darter. So meant to be fished as a swim bait, but I'm sure you could fish this drop shotting, Texas, you name it. There's a bunch of different applications for this, but this ribbon tail, that's what's important. You guys know, I don't have to tell you that whether it's a 10-inch power worm, 7.5-inch power worm, a twin grub tail cowboy from Gary Yamamoto, or just simply a Mr. Twister grub. These ribbon tail type of presentations or that action it's specific. It's got its own flavor, and fish like it. Since the dawn of soft plastics, ribbon tail, or that kind of that extra little flutter that you get from that type of plastic, it catches fish. So it's always good to have at least a couple different type of plastics and presentations that have that ribbon tail action. So I'm excited to use this swimming darter here from Poor Boy Baits. Keep checking their website to see if those are available to the public yet. I'll try to get some videos this fall because I have more time now. I'm not grinding it out on tournaments and pre-fishing stuff to get some footage of this stuff for you guys. So there's those things, and then the last thing I wanted to touch base on here before I probably go take off to go check y'all weigh in for the Tournament of Champions here is I have popped. So my boat's only 4 seasons old. So, and tournament fishermen, even pleasure fishermen that just love being on the water, we stress out our batteries a lot. And I knew I had to get new I only have 80 thrust, 2-bank trolling motor system, because I only have a 19-footer. A lot of you guys might be in that same wheelhouse, or you have a 3-bank, 112 system, so maybe this isn't going to resonate with you, but I've got an 80 thrust, 2-bank trolling motor system, and Group 27 size batteries, and I had to get new ones. I had interstates, and I wanted to kind of upgrade my batteries, get that longer average hour time for those windy days when you got 20, 25 mile an hour winds that you're bucking all day long. And if you're a deep fisherman like me, you're on that trolling motor pedal all the time. So you drain those batteries, you stress them out pretty dang good. With that being said, I did some research and I found a battery I wanted to try. I was looking for some high performance AGM batteries, and I came across VMAX. They have a Group 27 Extreme battery that has 110 amperage hours. I think their model is XTR-110 or XTR27-110, something like that. Anyways, I've had them now for the full season here in 2018, and I absolutely love them. I can't tell the difference between hour 1 and hour 8, even on 20, 25 mile an hour windy days. So big advocate for them. They don't, even though they say they fit in a Group 27 box, like I got a TH Marine battery box, even though it says they fit in the 27, they didn't really fit in there. So all I had to do is undo 2 screws, take the box out, just hacked an edge off, with the Sawzall, put the box back, and I think it sticks over the edge like 1/8 or 3/16 of an inch. So barely noticeable, but I definitely have that that thrust, that power all the way through the day when fishing with those VMAX Extreme AGM batteries. So if you guys are looking for new battery upgrades, check those guys out. I just also had to replace my cranking and starting battery, and I put in an Optimum. The nice thing about, even though you pay the premium price for them, the nice thing about them is you can get that group, you can get that Group 31 or that next size up battery in a 27 setting or in a 27 box, because they're a little consolidated as far as their size goes. So far, been really happy with it. There were a couple, before buying that new Optimum battery, again, I had an Interstate 2. I was happy, it lasted me 3 years, but those lead acids, you get what you pay for essentially when it comes to those battery things. But when I found out that I needed a new battery, I was in the middle of a tournament, and I was probably 15 minutes to weigh in, and turned the key and nothing. I had just enough power to keep my electronics running, but not enough to turn the engine over. So thankfully, earlier in the season, Nautic Sport hooked me up with the Power Reserve and Jump Starter. I would not have made weigh-in on that tournament had it not been for this. This thing is about the size of some of your smartphones. I jumped my boat twice with this. Once to get to weigh in on time, the second time is after I had it beached. I forgot I had my live well circ on during the weigh-in, so I went back to unbeach my boat and put it on the trailer. No power, right? Couldn't even get the poles up. Well, this thing bailed me out twice in one day. Big advocate for them. They have all kinds of adapters. Go ahead and go on Nautic Sports website and check out their little reserve power and jump starter. They work for anything, boats, cars, whatever, you name it. But I've got their reserve power and jump starter, and then I also have their Sportsman emergency power source. They come in awesome cases too, which I really like. So for those of you guys who have checked out some of my videos or whatever, you guys know I'm an avid hunter too. I spend a couple weeks in Saskatchewan every year following the snow goose migration and just chasing dark ducks and snows. And this will come in handy. I know there will be a moment where we have to use it. Whether you're just camping, road trip, whatever. It's always good to have some kind of battery backup source and a jump starter with you at all times. So, yeah, if I could shoot largemouth out of the sky and weigh in my best 5 at the end of the day, I think I'd be in heaven. But anyways, we were up in Saskatchewan last year. We're all put, 3 hours of setting out decoys were done. We go to move the trucks. One of the trucks didn't start because the lights just drained the cranking battery. Cranking battery hadn't been replaced in some time. Done. Now we're sweating bullets because jump starter, no, none of us had it. We didn't have the trailer that had the towing kit and the emergency truck, vehicle kit in it. So yeah, right now we're sweating bullets. The sun's gonna rise in 30 minutes. We weren't sure what to do. Luckily, one of my hunting comrades came up with this idea, and it was a 5-star idea. We took one of the batteries. It was an old 12 volt from one of our boats. Took the battery and we use it for cycling one of our motion decoys, one of the vortexes. Took that battery, unhooked it from the vortex. Somehow those terminals matched up perfectly with the terminals on the car, and we were able to jump start it that way. Good to go. Point of the story being, never would have been a problem had we had the Nautic Sport emergency power reserve jump starter. So in Saskatchewan, these will be in my truck at all times, because you don't want to be that guy who's going to ruin the hunt because you've got your rig stuck in the middle of the barley field. Well, if you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, that I just kind of showed you guys, feel free to shoot me a message. Other than that, hopefully that helps you guys optimize every cast and put more meat on the deck.